So Jyoti, incorporating what you were telling me earlier in the elevator as well about how we require like a common pool of resources because
Yes.
all of the people working in solar are like-minded. Could you, in your words, elaborate on the potential for mini and micro grids in India?
The potential, okay, there's nothing but potential. The reason that there's potential is several reasons. One is potential exists as much as there is a need. The need is very huge, the need is non-ending, and even as the MNRE keeps suggesting, oh, the grid will be reaching, when will it reach? Not in the next 20 years. The areas where we work are remote enough and difficult enough terrain where categorically, even with the best of resources, which India doesn't intend to spend on renewable energy, unfortunately, it would be, I would say, at least 20 years, frankly speaking. At the downside, maybe 10. So there's a lot of room for growth, a lot of room for growth. And even then, when the grid does come, regular power is the thing. The grid may come in 5 or 6 years. How much power will it be providing? Not enough to sustain them. I mean, the whole point with the mini grids or the rural electrification with solar is to give reliable power for X number of hours a day where these people feel that they know from this time to this time every day they can flick on their light and it's going to work.
Okay. And this potential you are saying is despite the number of people who are working in this area.
Absolutely.
I'm
Absolutely.
talking about like an individual potential versus like so many organizations working with lighting up people's homes with solar power.
Yes, there's enough need in the country where it can only get better. And one of the reasons that it will never be stale is technology is always changing.
That's right.
So there's people that will always be ahead of the curve. So there's always different price points. You might have an LED light, a strip light that lasts for 6 months, one that lasts for 2 years, and we have a Dutch product that lasts for 10 years with a warranty. So it all depends. There's different types of energy and there's always potential.
Okay. And from your experience, Jyoti, could you tell us a little bit about the success that you have seen implementing solar technology on the ground?
Okay.
And a little bit about the challenges that you have faced.
Okay, so success is, I don't know, I think success is measurable in many different ways. The way that since coming to India, my feeling, to me success is seeing the people happy. Whether my plant is optimal or not, whether I feel that, I mean, I'm my own worst critic. I want it to be the best. I want it to be the least expensive. I want it to perform optimally with the latest technology. But when I see them being able to use it and benefit from it and be happy about it, that you can't measure that. That's immeasurable for sure. And I think that that's always going to be there, no matter what technology, even if you give them a solar light. But you must never try to compromise the quality you're trying to give them, because I think now people know. So long as you're giving a quality product, and it can keep changing, but there's always a potential. There's a huge need.
Okay. And would you say the market is aware? There is
absolutely the market is aware. Absolutely, the market is aware, and the people are aware. Like we educate the villagers, but it doesn't mean that they can't go to Exhibition Road in Patna and go buy a panel and stick it on top of their juggi jopri and make that panel work and give them the optimal Bijli that they can get out of it.
Okay.
Like they have enough innovation.
Okay.
I think need makes them more innovative. I find that urban Indians are extremely apathetic and lazy. But when you have a need, your mind works. What way can I achieve this? This is what I want.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah.
Could you tell us a little bit about the challenges that you
Challenges are
face?
many challenges. Challenges are the topography. I mean, the land, the geography is a challenge. Culture is a challenge. The government is a challenge. I say there is a challenge in every aspect of it, frankly speaking. Every aspect has a challenge, but doesn't mean that it cannot be sort of dealt with,
Okay.
Yeah.
And finally, I understand that the tariff charge of these households is much higher than what we pay in urban areas.
Okay, no. Now, I actually don't want to get into an argument about anything, but I did hear some figures being mentioned, and in fact, solar energy is pretty close to grid parity.
Okay.
And this is what I firmly believe, and you can ask me for statistics and I will give that to you separately, but yes it is. Yes, it absolutely is. Even with, now where it is not at parity is subsidized agricultural bijli.
Okay.
Which there is some in Bihar, but where we're working there's no bijli. So it's not even a question of, there's a 3 rupee bijli, subsidized bijli thing, which they still don't pay because they choru karo it. That doesn't happen where we are.
Okay.
Because there is no bijli. The other thing is that because we try to engage the community, they would be stealing from themselves, and they don't want to do that. They won't steal from themselves. And we try to do a neighbor, it's called neighborhood watch type program, where like each house we put a battery into each individual home. That way nobody, and we string homes together. So if this guy's stealing, then that guy's going to be upset, yeah, and he's not gonna let it happen. So this controls theft. I would say we have theft about 98% mitigated, which is a big thing for letting the scale up happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So to play devil's advocate here, you're saying that solar power has almost reached grid parity, or has reached?
In some areas it has, in some it hasn't.
So
In some
what
areas of India it has. It has absolutely.
Wow. So what about subsidy? Do we still need subsidy for solar power?
Okay, here's the thing with subsidy. The thing with subsidy in renewable energy is because it is capital cost intensive, you need that to offset it initially. But in reality, it works without a subsidy. What we're doing is everything without a subsidy. Otherwise, we would not be moving in India, because even though when subsidy is on paper, it is not implemented or given. So it has to work without subsidy. It has to work without subsidy. To be successful in India, it works without subsidy. Because the word subsidy in India means something underhanded, unfortunately. So I found that even like the rural villagers, if you say subsidy, they're going to think it's not a functioning program. We're telling them, hey, we're giving you the cheapest thing, we're putting it up, they're understanding, and we try at all points to engage them in every part of the system, so that they understand what the cost is of putting it up, what the cost they're paying. They see that, okay, they're making money, but very negligible, but everything is transparent. And that's what makes it successful. That's what I believe it can be successful, if more people did it in this way. And I want to explain how cool it is. So we manufacture our own LED lights. And that is that I took a tour of some bankers to see our facility. And one of our kids, he's kind of our lead technician kid, and he's 21, but he's learned so much, and he is so smart. He had a brand new laptop, and so we're like, Harish, where'd you get this laptop? He goes, I just picked it up. And I'm like, well, how'd you buy it? He bought it from his mobile phone, which he charges through our microgrid, on Flipkart, went down to the postal area, paid for it, and picked it up, and is running his laptop on our microgrid digitally. And I just thought that was so cool that the kid was able to purchase a Flipkart thing in a place where there is no grid connected activity in India.
There's energy access for
There's
you.
energy access, and that's media, and that's marketing, man.
Yeah.
The Flipkart, imagine. And he just went to the postal, then he paid cash, and they picked
Where
it.
in Bihar is this?
This is in West Champaran.
West Champaran.
Yeah, which is near that, yeah. So it's pretty remote, but I mean the point is that nothing is so remote. The world is just a global community, and everybody knows at all times what's going on. So just because they don't have electricity doesn't mean they don't know the appliances they can have.
And I actually found that quite interesting what you said earlier, but you have to work without subsidy, working with that model that subsidy.
You have to be
isn't
passionate
there.
and believe in it, because if you believe in it, they feel and they believe in it too. The minute that you're trying to take a crutch, you're not really
you're
dedicated
already
to it.
correcting that error there.
Yeah.
You're sidestepping it entirely.
Yeah.
That's very